No.
That's next Thursday?
No, my neighbors are really. He has a lot of good whiskey. I think it was Four
Roses?
4 Roses.
Yeah, okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
He's got a few that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So anyway, I did a lot of show prep, and by a lot of show prep, I was like, all right, so what am I going to talk about tomorrow? And they gave some good input and some good topics of conversation, but nothing beats what happened this morning, and nothing's going to top that. Of course, we'll talk Razorback baseball game, which was still going on. Ended at, I think, 11:59 last night.
Yeah.
Something like that, Central Time, way past my bedtime these days. Then all of a sudden, the Scotty Scheffler news drops this morning, and I was like, okay, cancel everything.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. Of course, schedule release in the NFL. I want to talk to you a little bit later about that, just because I want to get your take as a former player and how much y'all actually looked into the schedule preseason. So we'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. NBA playoffs, T-Wolves force Game 7. We'll get into that in just a little bit as well. I believe that the Dublin, Ireland portal is the perfect representation of something, and I will talk about that in a little bit.
Interesting.
I believe it encapsulates everything that is currently happening in the world, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. I also have a rant about the kicker from the Chiefs, Harrison
Butker. That's continuing to grow.
And Jerry Seinfeld, both actually. Both of them did something, and it's not quite online with what you guys talked about. It's just a little different in terms of what they did and what these commencement speakers are doing that I'm just sick of in general.
You have a rant about Seinfeld?
About Seinfeld and him.
Uh-oh.
And him. There's two things that they said.
Well, he said some more incendiary things than Seinfeld.
It's not exactly what they said two different things.
You're talking about the occasion itself.
I'm talking about what they're doing and how they're doing it that is just driving me nuts. And then we got to talk about phrasing today, ladies and gentlemen. I think phrasing is super important. And Magic Johnson did something last night. The great Irvin Magic Johnson did something last night. He tweeted something, and I will go over it in a little bit, and how phrasing matters. And we need, as a society, to remember that when we're saying something or writing something. In his case, that phrasing and how you put things, just reread it before you hit send. And I know you can't grab words out of the air after you say them, but you have to think about them before you say them.
You do understand that Magic in his Michigan State education has had phrasing issues forever. When he retired the first time from the Lakers because of the HIV virus, I have attained. You don't attain the HIV. I've caught it. You didn't attain it.
So you're saying phrasing has been a problem of his for a while.
His whole life.
Justin
this isn't new.
Acre would say words matter.
Words matter.
And
that's right, he does.
The thing about if somebody says something off the cuff and they backtrack, there's a little bit more grace there. But like you said, when you write it down and have a chance to actually look at it and then process it and think it and then say, okay, I crushed it. Send. That's a different ball game.
If you haven't seen or heard the tweet, we'll talk about it coming up in a little bit. But we got to focus on the main story first.
I'm interested in this, though.
Yeah,
this
me
is
too.
good.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I will read the tweet later, and I want your take on it. And it's phrasing that is more funny than it's more of a faux pas than bad or being canceled. So it's nothing he has to worry about. It's just more of a buddy, you got to think about that.
So you weren't just drinking last night; you were actually thinking. This is good.
Thank you. How do we combine those together?
Well,
if you were to,
you can do both.
Yes.
I was just in Scotland, and their number one
for drinking.
No, not for drinking.
Okay.
For watching other people drink and going to castles. Their number one export in Scotland is whiskey. Number one export,
as it should be.
Well, they don't. That means they don't export anything else.
Well, that's fine.
Tweed, wool
They're
coats,
a small country.
and whiskey.
They're a small country.
It is small.
It's
it
a
is
small
cold.
country.
They drink to stay warm.
Okay, so I want to go back to the Scotty Scheffler story because the police report was just released and is now circulating. Scotty Scheffler, if you missed it, early this morning, arrested. He is charged. He has 4 charges against him right now. Assault in the second degree of a police officer.
Whoa.
A criminal mischief in the third degree. A reckless driving charge, and disregarding signals from officers directing traffic. Those are his 4 charges that he's facing. The world number 1. He has made it back to Valhalla Golf Course, and don't think it has escaped anyone that the name Valhalla and returning. There were a lot of jokes made about it this morning. It was outstanding. Days like today, Pigskin, are why Twitter was made, and this is one of the few days that a website as abhorrent and a cesspool like Twitter is are great. This is one of the few days where it is great.
There's some good content out there.
Here is the police report as it is read officially. Detective Gillis was directing traffic into Gate 1 of Valhalla Golf Course due to the road being closed in both directions from an earlier fatal collision. Listed subject, Scotty, was driving eastbound to gain access to the course. Subject pulled in the westbound lanes where outbound traffic was flowing to avoid backed-up traffic. Detective Gillis was in the middle of the westbound lanes in full LMPD uniform and had visibility yellow reflective rain jacket.
Ooh.
Detective Gillis stopped subject and attempted to give instructions. Subject refused to comply and accelerated forward, dragging Detective